So we were eagerly awaiting the arrival of Kyrie Irving. He arrived. He practiced. He met with the media. His body language was damn near Cutler-esque during that Zoom. And how would this team look in Kyrie's first game with Harden and Durant on the floor? We finally got that information last night. And anybody out there who's concerned about the Nets' ability to win a championship, certainly here in this great city of Los Angeles, the city of current NBA champions, Los Angeles Lakers, your LA Lakers, all you got to do is go find yourself a Colin Sexton. That's about it. How about that? No sophomore jinx for good old Colin last night.
Man, he was on fire.
And those plucky Cavs forced overtime in this game as my eyes were peeled on how the Nets were going to figure out the end game scenario. And at the end of regulation last night, it's a lot of isolation for Harden and letting him dribble and create. There was a shot by Kyrie with the time dwindling down in regulation that didn't go, and overtime got forced. And then overtime hits, and the Nets get a 2-possession lead, and you can't help but sit there and think, well, that's all she wrote. That was a nice night for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then all of a sudden, they're staying in it, and Sexton jars a 3 to force double overtime. And then in double overtime, it just fell apart for the Nets. Yeah. And it was the Colin Sexton show. How good was that kid last night?
Dude, on fire.
And it's not like Kyrie wasn't doing Kyrie things. 37 points for Kyrie last night. Let's get Sexton's numbers. 42 points for Colin Sexton. Good.
I think he had 15 straight in the double overtime.
He was amazing.
And the Nets' big three did their thing.
They did their thing. Harden got a triple-double. Harden got an old triple-double, 21, 10, and 12. Durant with 38 and 12 and 8. He almost had a triple-double, and Kyrie put in 37.
Yeah, what do you want?
And DeAndre Jordan had a nice night as well as he played the bulk of the first 3 quarters, and then they decided to stick, Joe Harris out there. And Sexton had 15 of his 42 in the second overtime last night. And that was that. And Brooklyn's 9-7 and Cleveland's 7-7. Now, difference between the NBA and the NFL. NFL, that's the only shot the Brooklyn Nets have at a win all week long.
Right.
And we are sitting here spending an entire week saying, is this really going to work out? Can this possibly work out? Is this going to be what we are expecting? Did the Nets make the wrong move with trading their entire future for Harden? What is Kyrie Irving's issue? Could this loss be traced to anything that was going on behind the scenes that we don't know because Kyrie acted in the manner in which he acted in the one shot we had with him in the media? That's the NFL. NBA? See you Friday night. Same team.
Right.
Same team. It's a home and home.
Same matchup.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't it great how we do that in the NFL?
Because we have a whole week to chew on it. And there's only 16 opportunities to win and lose. In the NBA, and then Friday night it could be like, here we go again. How is it going to be the Nets against the Cleveland Cavaliers? Well, Kyrie's got a calf, and he's, we're still trying to work him back in, and Harden's still, on the whatever Nutrisystem he's on, or, we're going to give the Durant the night off because there's a game the next night, and you can't go back to back. So we're just going to use one of them here, one of them there. So I mean, you can't go all in on anything on this front other than the fact of it was a highly entertaining game. Jared Allen going against his former team. Boy, I just love watching him play. He's got an interesting game. And you got to wonder, where was Andre Drummond didn't even play in the overtimes. You're wondering, are the Cavs already seeing what Allen's got? So he gets worked in here. So Drummond around the trade deadline, because they don't want to pay him, get him out of there. I don't know what the Cavs are up to on that front. You want to chime in on this one? Because, I, as you know, I'm like, these guys have to get their reps in because they got to get on the same page. And And they got their reps in last night. They certainly got in their possessions. They got it in, and they all shared the basketball, although there's only one of them at the end. There's only one basketball at the end. I just found it interesting. Okay, Harden's clearing out. He handled the ball. He was handling it up the court. Yeah. Kyrie was just, deferring, I guess, on that front. And they're all, having a good time. I mean, it was intense. They don't win, but we'll see you Friday night.
When I think about teams and when they put together, quote unquote, super teams like this, I just think about the Miami Heat in 2010, 2011, whatever it was, their first year together.
Because he created the super team.
But they started 9-8.
Right.
And everyone was wondering, what's going on? Is this going to work? And then they went to 4 straight NBA Finals. Like, you got to give them a little bit of time to play together. And all that matters is how they play in the playoffs. And I think when it comes down to it, they're going to be in the NBA Finals against the Lakers. That's the if, and, or but. That's all it is. So I'm not really worried about an double overtime loss to Cleveland.
Yep.
Who cares? They all played well. When they were all on the court last night, they were plus 11. So they're going to work it out, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, 71% of the points came from those three. 51 minutes for Harden, 48 for Kyrie, 50 for Durant.
That's got to be the most minutes Harden has played in.
Yeah, so he's getting into shape, and he's. That's what I'm saying. But it was Colin Sexton. He's a real deal, isn't he?
Yeah, it was his night.
It was his night. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.